Hey everyone, it's Corey with Reel Filmmaking, and it's been a minute since I've done a video about the Canon EOS M. I'm sure some of you have kind of been worried, like, does he still use the EOS M? Does he like Magic Lantern? What's going on? I do, and I still love it. But I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes, I've been cooking, so to speak, and today I finally get to pull back the curtain and share something fun with you, and just kind of like as a free gift and a thank you for people who've been following and watching the channel. I'm excited to announce that I have a pack of Canon EOS M LUTs that will be available. You can follow the link and grab them off my site. But yeah, it's been something in the making. I love doing stuff with color grading and making different looks. And I'm working on a project currently that I'm shooting for somebody else. And I was just trying to develop some looks for that project specifically is how it started. But then I kind of ended up going down a rabbit hole and wanting to make some unique looks for the Canon EOS M and, all the flexibility of shooting raw and all that stuff. But I'm really excited with how the results turned out. I know it's a first time doing this, making this stuff, but I'd love to share it with all of you, get your feedback, give me your thoughts. I'd love to see your footage using these different LUTs, see what we come up with. But today I'm going to walk you through a little bit about these LUTs, how to set them up, how I designed them, and hopefully you can just start incorporating them into your workflow, as soon as this video is over. So the three LUTs that I've made are Outside Atlanta, Kodak Sunset, and 500 Days of Tea. You might be like, what are these weird names? Really briefly, Outside Atlanta is the project that I was working on. I'm shooting something that has a lot of inspiration from the show Atlanta, which has awesome cinematography, really good color. I kind of based it off some of the exterior scenes when they're more in the country. There's lots of foliage there. And so it's got a little bit more of a bright, a little bit of teal green is a predominant look in it, with a little bit of blooming in the highlights, and it works really nice. I find for outdoor footage. It can be used for other things too, but I like the way it renders a lot of stuff like nature or people outside. It looks really good for that. Kodak Sunset is based off of the Kodak 2383 LUT that is super popular. We all have it in DaVinci Resolve. A lot of major films use this film stock, or at least even if they shoot it digitally, they apply it in post. And I really like the look of Kodak 2383, and so I kind of wanted to have my own spin on it. You'll find that I used the warmer version of the 2383, so it goes a little bit warmer. I added a little bit of stuff with contrast to this look, but I find that this is a very soft, a very pleasing look. It looks really good on skin tones, kind of across the board. There's certain scenes where it just kind of gives it a nice soft feeling, with a little push in those reds and those warm tones, and I really like it. It's great. And then 500 Days of Tea, you might be like, is he a 500 Days of Summer fan? Not exactly. I mean, the movie's fine. But 500 Days of Tea is based off of a Kodak Vision 500T film stock. And it is a LUT that I've used for different projects in the past. I really like how it looks. It is the punchiest of the three of these. And so I adapted that and kind of tweaked some more stuff. And so it definitely is the LUT that will hit you the hardest out of this pack. And so if you want just more of a contrasty look, if you want it to just jump out at you more, it really punches the blacks, hopefully doesn't crush them, and it really makes your colors pop. So a couple quick notes to know about these LUTs. These LUTs are built on the Magic Lantern S-Log3 workflow. I did a video about this, I think a year or so ago, but it's probably one of my favorite workflows with EOS M, the Magic Lantern files. I love doing stuff with RAW, but I feel for quick pick up and go stuff, I find S-Log3 to work really well. All of these LUTs have the conversion built into them. So if you're in DaVinci Resolve, you won't need to color space transform your footage. So you can just pull your S-Log3 footage into DaVinci Resolve, apply the LUT, and it will already convert it to Rec 709 and give it the look that I was talking about for each specific LUT. So to use these LUTs in DaVinci Resolve, I usually build a 3 or 4 node tree, and I apply the LUT to the last node and then do all of my corrections in the nodes previous to that. So whether I need to do things with the exposure, if I need to adjust the contrast, if I need to do anything with white balance, or pull some red out of the highlights, or push something into the shadows or whatever I need to do. I do that in those previous nodes. Just with those a couple adjustments, I usually can get the clip to where I want it to be or the look that I want. When I develop these looks, I tried not to have them be crazy intense. The exposure of your footage and all of that is a big factor. I tried to build these LUTs for footage that is exposed pretty evenly across, so nothing is too extreme. If you have a really dark nighttime scene or you have a really bright scene, obviously that might affect things differently and you'll have to compensate with other nodes. But generally, if footage is exposed correctly and you're applying these LUTs, you're going to get a pretty decent result just straight out the box that you can just tweak a little bit with those other nodes. And for those of you working in Premiere or Final Cut, the grading process is fairly similar, still pretty simple. You can create an adjustment layer, put that over your footage, apply the LUT to the adjustment layer, and then you can make different tweaks to the footage on the actual clip itself. I did my best to test these LUTs on a variety of subjects and situations. You know, when you're developing a LUT, if you're only trying it on one or two things, it's not really indicative of how the LUT will turn out on different scenes and, you know, people that you're shooting. And the nice thing too about these LUTs, if you are a Sony user and you shoot in S-Log3, these LUTs will still work for any S-Log3 footage. It doesn't have to necessarily be from Canon EOS M. That's just kind of like our home base. So any Sony users out there, I would love to, you know, hear and see the results that you're getting with this. Yeah, really excited about these LUTs. I'm excited to see what you all do with them, see the footage, the projects that you wrap them into. And again, these LUTs they're just a labor of love. It's been a fun thing to grow and to work on. And they are just a thank you for all the people who have been with me on this journey with the Canon EOS M and Magic Lantern, or even people who are just finding the channel and being like, man, this is what's going on with Magic Lantern and raw video. You know, I want you to use these and experiment with them and have fun and, yeah, get some cool looks out of your camera. I know color grading can be kind of a daunting process. I really love it. I still feel like I'm learning so much, but when you're first starting, sometimes it's just nice to have some really cool looks that you can just get pretty quickly, and it encourages you and you're like, man, it looks great. You can use it in projects, different things. And even sometimes for people who are experienced in doing color stuff, sometimes I just want a baked in look that I don't have to spend so much time. Like, I love doing color grading, but if I had to by hand color grade everything that I shot meticulously, I would just lose my mind. So it's nice to have presets. It's nice to have LUTs that I've developed, I spent the time with, and then I can just be like, oh yeah, put it on, do a little tweaks, and it's good to go. So I hope you can find enjoyment and use out of these LUTs. I appreciate everybody who's here. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Reel Filmmaking for more stuff about the Canon EOS M, Magic Lantern, all the goodness, filmmaking, you know it. And if there's other people, like I said, who are Sony shooters, or other people who do stuff with Magic Lantern, please share these LUTs with them. It's open to everybody. I want the community to thrive and to benefit from these. But thanks so much, everybody. And until next time, keep making movies and watching movies. And I'll see you on Reel Filmmaking.